So how are we going to do this? We need to pass a taxpayer's Bill of Rights, which would limit spending increases to the rate of inflation plus the rate of population growth. We also believe that our governor needs the line item veto so that they can cut the fat out of the budget. Granted, it's going to take a Republican governor getting in there to actually use it. And lastly, we must aggressively eliminate all waste, all fraud, and all abuse. My wife and I were walking through the Christiana Mall, and we see this large picture of John Carney emblazoned right next to the map of the mall. I thought, wow, look at that political advertisement. But as I got closer, you look down at the bottom, and it's actually an advertisement for a video game rating system paid for by the taxpayers of the state of Delaware. This had nothing to do with video game ratings. This had everything to do with electing John Carney. The taxpayers of the state of Delaware should call on John Carney's campaign to pay back the taxpayers of Delaware. Affordable health care. Let's assure that every Delawarean has access to affordable, high-quality health care by expanding availability and patient choice. We must make health care affordable for all Delawareans. This will not be accomplished by turning health care over to a government-run bureaucracy. The way we need to do it is by allowing consumers more choices and expanding access. A few of our ideas include supporting federal legislation which would allow the purchase of health care across state lines. This would lower costs and maximize choice. It would especially reduce redundant administrative costs. Delaware should also join 33 other states across the country in creating a high-risk pool. And what this would do is you'd be able to pull out your high-risk patients so that the remaining participants in the plan would have lower costs. And lastly, in healthcare, we need to pass tort reform and end the frivolous lawsuits and stop making our doctors and nurses practice expensive and defensive medicine. Okay, now let's talk about jobs. We need a workplace for the future. Develop our economic base by nurturing existing businesses and attracting new entrepreneurial companies. If our economy is going to remain vibrant in Delaware, then we need to keep our current companies and start to attract new entrepreneurial firms to drive future economic growth. To create a workplace for the future, we need to develop a technology SWAT team with a mission of attracting new high-tech and biotech companies here to the state of Delaware. The Minner-Carney administration has decimated the Delaware Economic Development Office. We need a new tech team dedicated to going out and attracting new world-class employers right here to Delaware. We also need an Internet Development Act. This would be modeled after the Financial Center Development Act that was so successful under Governor DuPont in the 1980s. Any technology company that came here and met the hiring and investment criteria would receive a 5-year tax waiver. Lastly, it's time to phase out the gross receipts tax. This should have been sunsetted long ago. And at the very minimum, what we should do is give all new businesses an opportunity, a 5-year tax waiver. Okay, with gas at $4 a gallon, we need to explore alternative energy. Let's reduce costs, create jobs, and promote energy independence by advancing new sources such as wind, solar, and other renewable sources. Let's promote an energy policy that puts Delaware first, improving our environment, creating new jobs, and leading us towards energy independence. Delaware must embrace promising new energy sources such as wind, solar, and geothermal energy. We want to attract alternative energy, but we don't want to do it at any cost. A fundamental threshold is that we should do a full life cycle cost analysis on any new energy source before we sign up. We also need to provide incentives to consumers for conservation and promote understanding of proven cost-saving technologies such as geothermal energy. Next up is rational taxation. Reform our tax structure, making taxes lower, fewer, and fairer for all taxpayers, all businesses, and all veterans. When Governors DuPont and Castle cut taxes, 30 years of unprecedented economic growth resulted. Once we stopped cutting taxes, our economy slowed significantly. As a party, we need to be consistent on having lower, fewer, and fairer taxes.